name's Justin Branson, and I don't have a peanut allergy, and I'm forever grateful. This is Cardinal Film Fights, a place where we talk about film and occasionally break out into fistfights. These are our guests for the day, and they're going to be arguing about things.
Okay, then.
Best Netflix original series.
Okay.
Specifically. Introduce yourselves,
Hi.
please.
Hi,
And thank you.
Thanks. Hi, my name is Ben Bartlett. I am a sophomore at Ball State. My major is telecommunications, and one interesting fact is if there's any other filmmaker that I chose as a favorite, my top one will have to be Steven Spielberg. I love you. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Ben Nelson. I'm a junior telecommunications major at Ball State, and one of my favorite movies is the 2007 Transformers. I'm not going to hide it.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Nate Richard. I'm a sophomore here at Ball State, and I'm a TCOM major. A fun fact about me is I love dogs.
The Wes Anderson film?
I love both of them.
Okay.
Film and just dogs in general.
Don't get carried away. So, as I said earlier, today we are going to be arguing about the best Netflix original series. We're going to do this in the normal fashion with a 1-minute introduction followed by 5 minutes of fighting, 30 seconds of conclusion, and then I get to tear you apart like my stepmother does every day. So, 1 minute on the clock. Where would we like to start?
I guess I'll begin.
Well, he asked nicely, so start over there.
All right. So the thing about BoJack Horseman is it's a cartoon, but it handles mature adult themes like mental illness so well, much better than any live action show that's on TV. You see something like 13 Reasons Why, that totally doesn't get mental illness right like BoJack does. It really puts you in that mindset. And I really think for voice work, Will Arnett, how has he not won an Emmy for his work in BoJack Horseman? And the thing about the show is it keeps getting better each season. You would think a show gets on the decline, but season 1 was just okay, but season 2 was great. Season 3 was amazing. Season 4 was just a masterpiece. Season 5 was godly. It was one of the best pieces of television I had ever seen. It's not afraid to get dark. It's not afraid to get sad. It's not afraid to devastate its viewers. But it always stays true to its characters.
All right. And my series is obviously Stranger Things. Stranger Things is what put Netflix on the map permanently. Thanks to Stranger Things, their subscription ratings just skyrocketed the day season 1 came out, and it has not gone away since. It really is an event series. People are more excited for the trailers and the release date, the same thing that people would react to the next MCU film. That is how big this show has become. It is a staple to the 80s like nothing else since probably the 80s movies itself, and it is a huge homage to those 80s films which everyone loves, especially those Spielberg films that were made in the 80s. And this show is just a culmination of everything that Netflix is about.
So well spoken.
Thank you.
And my choosing for the best original Netflix series is Disenchantment, created by Matt Groening, who is also known for the creator of the comics of Life in Hell and for famous television shows The Simpsons and Futurama. And when I saw the show, I thought it was strictly hilarious, especially when they hired the same voice who did Bender, named John DiMaggio. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Who hired John DiMaggio to use his same funny voice from Bender or the Scotsman from Samurai Jack to portray the funny, upset king who yells all the time.
So, here we are, entering the war zone. Blood, guts, and glory. 5 minutes to win it. And then your conclusions.
All right, I want to just begin by saying I love Stranger Things, and I really do enjoy Disenchantment. But the thing is, Disenchantment is far from Matt Groening's best show. Futurama is one of the best animated sitcoms I had ever seen. Disenchantment, it just felt boring. I kind of fell asleep watching that show several times. I got a little tired of it. And Stranger Things, I love that show. I hype it up. But is it as on the same quality of BoJack Horseman, which I say no. The way BoJack Horseman deals with such tough topics in such a headstrong way that feels very progressive, but also very. It feels like a game changer for animated sitcoms. When I had first heard of it, I was kind of indifferent towards it. I'm like, okay, is this just going to be another Comedy Central type show that's just going to be a bunch of dick jokes and sex jokes and everything? But it's way beyond that. I think the one thing that it has on it is its first season isn't that great. But one of the things I love about it is a lot of these animated sitcoms, you see like The Simpsons, they start to fall off as the seasons go on. Even Stranger Things. Season 1 was amazing, but Season 2, it wasn't nearly as good as the first season. It was still good.
Okay.
But it wasn't as great. BoJack Horseman, it has made a very steady incline up to be one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, the problem with BoJack Horseman is it does feel like it has the budget of like a normal TV show, like it would be on Comedy Central. Like it does feel like that has that budget, but like
Hey, we're not talking about budget. We're talking about quality.
Okay. At the same time, Stranger Things, the quality feels like a movie. It honestly does feel like a full cinematic movie. Like, I honestly want to see Stranger Things up on the big screen because it deserves to be. Like, this world of Hawkins, Indiana, by the way, this world of Hawkins, Indiana is actually really interesting, and I want to live there. And it honestly feels like the book Ready Player One, except in real life without that Spielberg movie. But it honestly feels like a more grounded version of that Ready Player One with all these 80s references and all these 80s characters merged together to fight this one bad guy. And there's multiple bad guys, and you can get to decide which bad guy it actually is in a way. It's like the actual like monster-looking bad guy that is an actual threat, or is it like the giant corporations or the government that's actually the bad guy? And both are the bad guys.
I'll say something though. Season 1 definitely felt like a movie.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
Season 2 had that one-off episode where Eleven goes to like the big city. That made it feel like a TV show.
One thing I don't get is how come Stranger Things can only offer some merchandise? Like you go into FYE, you see all these pop.
Because it's that good.
Yeah.
Well, look, with all respect for Stranger Things, where's the heart of the art? For Disenchantment, I think the whole art idea is that being in the story who was a rebellion against her own father, you know what? There are some complications between them, and that's the same thing with the Simpsons. How Bart and Homer Simpson had complicated family relationships, and I'm not sure what's the art significance, but there is an art significance. How Matt just puts into his shows. I mean, with when here's where Bean makes friends with a elf named Elfo or a personal demon named Lucy, which, by the way, one funny scene is that how I could see that they don't get along quite well is that Bean's father, the king, just tried to get her ready for an arranged marriage, and she kept on saying, one funny scene is that, she gets undressed, get ready for her wedding, and the king just argued, anybody who looks at her will get their head chopped off.
There's one thing about Disenchantment, though. I don't think it has the imagination of Matt Groening's other shows. Like Futurama, that's one of the most imaginative shows I've ever seen. And The Simpsons and Treehouse of Horror, that gets very creative, too. I didn't think Disenchantment had that spark. It was just like, oh, let's do Game of Thrones, but Matt Groening, like...
And the heart of Stranger Things is in those 5 characters in that losers club. Like the connection that they have, not to mention the romance between the main character and 11, is like one of the most heartfelt romances I've seen in TV like so far. And Winona Ryder's character and her performance is like Emmy level or even Oscar level performance. Like it is just so good, and she honestly deserves a lot more recognition.
Now, if we can get 30 seconds on the clock for the conclusions, where you can run it back, start on over here and work our way over.
Disenchantment was probably one of the most funniest shows that I've probably ever seen, especially when they hired one of the actors was Billy West, who was known for Stimpy on Ren and Stimpy or Fry from Futurama. And, I mean, with the whole story plot line, I just wish they'd come back with another season, even though they're planning a 20-episode season.
All right, and for Stranger Things, like I said, the heart is with the connection between the characters. It is about family. It is about friends. It is about community. Especially like the cop in the show. I honestly thought I was not going to like this character. Turns out he's one of my favorite characters. The way he becomes a father figure to Eleven and how they both grow together. I honestly did not expect those two characters to connect, and they connect nearly perfectly, and I love every minute of it.
BoJack Horseman for me is a show that leaves an impact on me. It stays with me for days after I watch like each season, and it's not really a show that's easy to binge because it gets very, very dark at times. But one of the things, even though it's about like animals and humans together, the show is one of the most human shows on television. Where Disenchantment, after I finished season 1, I kind of forgot what had happened in it. And Stranger Things 2, I kind of, after I turned that off, I was just like, yeah, it was all right.
Vaughn, do you have any? Actually, I had one specific thing. Ben said that Stranger Things caused a subscription increase on release.
That was true.
That was true. Bodes well for you, son.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put on my thinking cap.
Good, man.
In third place, we have a show that was put on Netflix. A show by the name of Disenchantment. I apologize, sir, but it was pointed out that not Groening's best work, though it is gratifying for your funny bone, but you didn't really argue outside of its comedic effect, and though it is a comedy, there's a lot more layering to the other selections, and
I know it's a long shot.
it was a long shot, but you fought valiantly, sir. In second place, we have another show that was on Netflix, in fact, and it goes by the name of BoJack Horseman. This is the type of sportsmanship that we like to see on Cardinal Film Fights. Now they're taking it too far. This is a family program. Please keep your hands off of each other. But BoJack Horseman, though it does approach mature content well, like mental health and other themes throughout. I don't want to spoil too many things because there's a lot going on there. Like you said, one thing that you cited as a pro, which may be a con for some people, is that it is, in fact, emotionally taxing.
Yeah.
You can find yourself in a deep, dark hole after watching a season in a couple days. So,
Yeah. Oh.
Here you go, sir.
I'll agree.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Something that I think a lot of people think about when they think of Netflix.
Yeah.
It's almost synonymous. It caused an increase in subscriptions and played in well into the 80s nostalgia that a lot of people were feeling. So it was just well executed, well timed for pop culture, and well executed in your argument, sir.
Thank you.
This has been Cardinal Film Fights. Feel free to like, dislike, comment, and tell me why I'm wrong about my judging, because I'm sure plenty of you think so. If you'd like to, follow us on our social medias at Card Film Fights. Make sure to like things and comment on things, because that's what you do on social media. Good morning, and if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, good night.